Okay, quick disclaimer before we get started. The Blockmates podcast is for entertainment and informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. The information and opinions expressed on the podcast are those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Blockmates or its affiliates. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research and consult with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Blockmates and its affiliates are not liable for any losses or damages incurred as a result of the reliance on the information or opinions expressed on this podcast.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again with a very, very special guest, Mr. Calum, the co-founder of Mozaic Finance. I'm very excited to have you on the podcast because I have been doing a lot of digging into the protocol. I've been speaking a lot to the team, so it's a pleasure to have you here to hear the ins and outs and the deep dives of what Mozaic Finance is. Calum, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Dan. Yeah, pretty excited to be here as well because me and my friends honestly do read like the Blockmates blogs and stuff like that. So it is pretty cool. When I told everybody, they were pretty pumped for this as well. So yeah, very happy to be here and share the story of Mozaic.
We'll get some signed merchandise to you. The whole team are all trying to get some signed snapbacks for you, a few stickers, everything. Just give us your appear book. It's coming. We've got like a little t-shirt here, but we're going to be getting some new merch with the new website coming. This is one of our friends, snapback from the Hero Network though, but we'll be getting some made up soon.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we wanted to do our own as well. Not the highest thing on our priority right now, but eventually we want to do like jumpers and whatnot. So
could you imagine like the whole goal of you coming into crypto was to make this amazing high-tech gigabrain protocol, but when actually you end up just becoming like the next biggest clothing company like Gymshark, right? Where it's you've taken like a very small thing and it's just gone absolutely crazy. Maybe that's the next vision for someone.
Well, our community, they actually already started making Mozaic socks, and we had another picture this week or last week, sorry. Somebody's camper van. He made like a Mozaic flag, and like we haven't asked anybody to do this stuff, and the community is just getting around it, all by their own intuition. So yeah, it's really cool to see, because it just shows like they sort of believe what we're doing and stuff, and are part of the journey.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about crypto and socks, but there's another project, Tapioca. They decided to create socks as well. It's something about crypto is either very special or just very strange. But mate, like, yeah, probably a bit of both. But Calum, tell me more about yourself. Like, how did you get into crypto, and then like how did Mozaic come about?
Yeah, so I am originally a miner, not a Bitcoin miner, a gold digging miner, digging holes in the ground. So I did that for 9 years originally. But my passion was always crypto. So I was trading while I was working in the mines. I made my boss a lot of money, enough so he could buy a car. So he just he actually promoted me. So I wasn't in the vehicle anymore. I was looking after the crew. And that just gave me more time so I could trade for him and my own account. So I won't say who it is because he could definitely get in trouble for that. But yeah, so eventually I thought, I want to do this professionally. I found a crypto firm in Australia where I'm from. They are located in Sydney. I applied to get a job. To get into a prop shop, they normally have a bunch of tests you have to do. This one, what we had to do is it's a 2-week trial, and you go up against, I think there was like 100 different people in this one. And about 8 of us got through to the second round. And then the second round, or the next step after that, is what they call a schedule. And there's 20 different levels on the schedule. So you start off with $100. And then if you make, say, 20%, you go up to level 2. And then you get given another $100. So you're on $220. You continue this until about $400,000. And then when you get to that level, and then they pretty much give you the green tick, and you pass everything. There's nothing to worry about. The only way you can lose your job from there is liquidation, which is there's some crazy stories there, as you could imagine. But yeah, that was the process. So I've been in crypto since 2017. Half the team of Mosaic came from that firm as well. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say who it is. So Star Beta Australia. The CEO of Star Beta Australia also is our corporate advisor as well with Mosaic, which is pretty cool. I pretty much knew we were creating this product with a bit of an origin story, actually, of how Mosaic actually started. So pretty much during DeFi summer, it was going crazy at the firm, and people were making stupid money on all these food tokens and stuff like that, right? I thought it was a pure scam at the beginning. But it didn't really matter. Like, it was easy money, essentially, if you knew what you're doing, and you just got out before everybody else. Everybody thought they could get out first. Not true. You got to be burnt a few times and not be too greedy. But anyway, we thought, well, we're making a lot of money doing that. But our bosses weren't a big fan because we weren't trading their actual money and making them money, because this is on our personal accounts. So we wanted to automate our yield farming, so we could actually do our proper job. So that's how it actually started. It was going to be a product all the traders at the firm were going to use. The quant team itself was going to help us originally. They didn't have enough time. So we reached out to Greg Tanaka. He actually ran for Congress of California last year in Silicon Valley. Ranks in the top 5% in the world for M5 forecasting, 2 years in a row as well. So very talented. After hassling him for 2 months, he finally agreed to jump on board. But yeah, that's pretty much how the story started of Mosaic. Do you have any questions on that?
So basically, Mosaic came about by you guys not wanting to lose your job, because on a personal sense, you've created like the most intelligent AI most intelligent AI algorithm here. Like your boss was like, oh, hey, we want some of that. You're like, okay, let's go do this for you. But no, like, how did it all work? And is it the same kind of tech you're using there as what's going to go into Mosaic?
Yeah, good question. So it's actually different tech. So at the firm, we were just doing that from our experience as traders. Because yeah, the people that we worked with there are insanely talented. Like when I rocked up, people were introducing themselves and they're just saying their add-on names, and I'm like, "Oh, you're from Twitter. Oh, you're also from Twitter." So it's really cool just meeting everybody that you had no idea actually worked at like that firm. So that was pretty cool. So all those DeFi strategies were from the traders themselves. But the way it works with the AI guys now is we would use our experience we learned from the firm and then inform the AI guys, look, this is the data that you should be using. This is the time frame. This is what happens if it reacts at this certain level due to these psychological reasons or whatnot. And then they use that information to train the AI.
Okay, and like with it being AI, like AI is a massive buzzword at the moment. And like AI, as you'll probably know, like it means a bajillion different things. It can mean, something as simple as like, people might associate AI with chat GPT, or, data mining, or, a virtual girlfriend, which seems to be becoming ever more popular in the crypto space in the world of AI. But what does AI mean in the context of your vaults? And then like, how are you actually teaching this AI to go out and make you money and find you the best, yield out there?
Yeah. So I'll start with how we teach it. So there's been many iterations of the AI we call Archimedes. So the first version was trained on daily time frame. And that actually worked really good. I'm not sure if it was because the lack of noise being a higher time frame, but it worked very well. The next step, we reduced the time frame down to 1 hour. But the challenge with that is there wasn't 1 hour APY data historically. You could only get historic day-by-day data. So we had to come up with our own proprietary data extraction tool where we calculated it from the blockchain itself. So yeah, the data we were collecting was block by block for the inception of the pools. And then our data also increased to over 5 years of token data for over 380 different markets by 1 minute time frame. So yeah, we thought, why don't we just put all that energy getting the most granular data possible, because that'll be the most accurate. We reached out to a bunch of data providers to help us with that, and pretty much nowhere does it. So yeah, that's why we had to do it ourselves. It did work in the end, which is amazing. It took a very long time. But the good thing is, if anybody wanted to try to copy us, they would have at least 3 months minimum to try and work this stuff out, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we trained the AI on price data, on the pool data, on volume data, not just like normal volume as well. We look at like your base volume, so maker and taker volume and stuff like that. We try and make it as detailed as possible. We got future plans to. I'm probably not allowed to share all this stuff, to be honest. But yeah, as much data as possible to train the AI. Some problems that we did find was, I don't know how technical your audience wants me to get in with this.
Let's try it and see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Just one problem we found was, say you had historic data to train the AI, and you use the token with only a 1 year historic amount of data. To train the AI, you train the AI from the very beginning, so 5 years worth. So those 4 years of missing data, essentially you're wasting time and resources on that market because there will be zero data in there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So, and a lot of our markets are fairly new as well, because the more new data is more accurate to predictions as well. So there's like a bunch of obstacles where we had to find out how to improve the efficiency to train the AI, that we had to go through many hurdles as well. Luckily, we partnered with Google very recently. Google started a Web3 partnership program about 3 weeks ago, and we're one of the first to get accepted. We are talking to them frequently about our AI, and they actually came in, gave a few suggestions with the infrastructure, and improved our training speed by 50x within a week. So that was absolutely insane. Yeah. So very, very happy that we have the connection with Google now.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So yeah, we pretty much been training that AI on as much data as possible. And the way it actually works, so there's 2 different models. One is an abstract model, and one is the pool data model. The abstract model is the one that consists of the price, the volume, and everything else. And that is predicting a value that represents the whole market. The next one, the pool model, is specific for the strategy we are applying Archimedes to. For instance, the Stargate pool, which is what we are launching with first, it's a stablecoin pool on 5 different blockchains. I think it's about 18 different pools. And the AI Archimedes will jump in between the pools to earn the highest possible return. So all that pool data, we train the pool model with that data. So the really cool thing, the way we are training this AI, is when there's new strategies that we want to integrate with later on, We just need to update that new pool model with the new data from the new pools, if that makes sense. So if we wanted to, cool. And then we just move the abstract model that we've already pre-trained and attach it with the new pool model. And then it will work in unison to help with the predictive predictive nature of the AI.
Mate, well, carry on.
Please.
I know. I was gonna say, like, all I can picture now is like this Greek scholar, mathematician, just working his like abacus and like just going through like diving in all of these pools just to take the best APY. And what I'm really liking about this is you sound like you're giving your AI personality, a character. And one question I do have is, as you release more vaults, are you going to be giving them different strategies? And if you're giving them a different strategy, are you going to relate a different Greek god to that specific piece of like AI to then give that vault a personality?
That's pretty much spot on. It's cool that you picked that up. So that theme is, we're trying to run that theme through everything that we do. We are bringing out NFTs as well that actually have utility within the Mosaic ecosystem. And those will be based on the Greek gods as well. Essentially, there's only going to be 3,000 of them. There's going to be 7 one-of-ones as well that are the Greek gods. And essentially, potentially, they might have bonuses like fee reduction and other things if the community was willing to, or the community proposed that. So we'll see what happens. So that's a cool thing. But yeah, with the new strategies, we've got a bunch planned. The next one would be a more higher risk stablecoin vault. And the reason for that is we can sort of use our pre-existing AI to essentially just upgrade it with new data, and it'll be a lot quicker to bring out that new product. But the cool thing about that product is we will introduce dual side LPs into the strategy. So the first one is only single side staking. But yeah, we've done a bit of testing, and it's actually pretty easy to do, at least for stablecoins. So that's pretty cool. We'll get that product out fairly quick. Potentially, I think at least another 2 blockchains, at least another 4 different protocols. And then the next product after that would be an Arbitrum ecosystem vault. We have a very good connection with Off-Chain Labs. They are amazing. I absolutely love them. Being an omni-chain protocol, we get to interact with a lot of different blockchains. And yeah, Arbitrum have been nothing but generous with the time. So shout out to them. Also, the Arbitrum ecosystem, in my point of view, besides, say, like ZK Sync and things in that nature, Arbitrum are one that should continue to build hype as we continue into this, fingers crossed, bull market. So yeah, our vaults as well. While we are an omni-chain protocol, our primary vault is on Arbitrum as well, due to the low fees and how reliable they are as well. So,
are you going to be like capturing vaults that capture like hype? So, for example, probably the thing that anybody can tweet about at the moment is LSDFi. It seems like the only narrative that is here, because there's only like the 8 of us left here in crypto, and we're 2 of them. But are you going to be doing vaults that capture? Are you going to do vaults that capture hype like LSDFi? Is that something that you guys are going to be exploring?
Yeah, so I can sort of break this into 2 different answers. So one thing is, the cool thing about being on so many different blockchains is we are able to pretty much leverage all these opportunities. Because of course, every blockchain has different hype cycles. Every protocol is the same. Different protocols have different incentive rewards that they bring out as well, and we're able to leverage that. So that's pretty cool, because we can offer real yield for our users. because we're not the ones inflating the vault ourselves with our own Moz token. It's other protocols advertising themselves. So that's pretty cool. In terms of, sorry, what was the question again?
Are you going to be doing like LSD 5 volts? Because that seems to be one of the big narratives that might continue for a long time.
Yeah. So in terms of those vault strategies as well, it is coming down to the community as well. We don't just integrate any and every pool straight away. First, we have to whitelist them. And that whitelisting procedure is reviewing the code, testing it out, looking at the TVL in the pool, how long the pool has been around for, have they been hacked before, and things like that. We are contemplating doing a different like risk matrix where we categorize each pool in like levels of 3. The higher the risk means we can allocate maybe 3% instead of maybe 6%, something like that. That won't be until a little bit later on, just because we have our hands full at the moment. But that is in the works. But yeah, in terms of all these new things, we won't be on there on day one. Pretty much we want to make sure they are secure and safe. Pretty much we're looking at things as a long-term point of view with anything we do. That's another reason why we started off with stablecoins as well. Being in the bear market as well, we thought people wanted to play it safe as well, and we wanted to offer that product for them. But yeah, anything we do, we're taking it one step at a time. Even for our closed launch of beta, we are opening that up to our users in our Discord first. They will be whitelisted, and then we are going to start with a $10,000 cap. And then we're happy with that for a day. We'll increase it to 20, continue that until we hit 1 million. When everything is perfect, we'll open it up to the public. So yeah, literally everything we do, we always look at it safety first, especially because it is brand new technology, right? So while we have done a lot of testing on the cloud, we haven't done a lot of testing on mainnet. So yeah, one step at a time.
Yeah, nice. And then just going back to like Archimedes. So when I was reading in your documents, he's been on like 2 training camps so far. Like he's been on the Sea Bridge and he's been on like Stargate. What what were the the highlights of his training camp there? What kind of like data did you find out? And then if there was something that looked a little bit like, okay, this isn't great, what did you do to actually like reprogram him to be better?
Good question. Just on the reprogramming bit. So we actually haven't needed to do that yet in terms of like for a test or anything like that, because we do like vigorous testing before we even get it ready to do a proper test, because that's just part of the whole training process we do every single day. But I might share my screen for one of the results and just go through it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Give me a sec.
I know a lot of our audience are into their fitness, so I know there's going to be a lot of health fitness fanatics out there who are going to be interested to see what this training program looked like.
Yeah, nice. Hang on, entire screen.
Boom.
Yep. So with this is one of our earliest tests, but I think it's one that represents why Archimedes is so important. So this was on Stargate with a $10 million capital base, and there's 3 different types of yield farmers on here. So there's the set and forget approach, which is putting all of your funds in the top 4 highest earning pools and holding it there for the entire month. And that essentially got you $405,000 in yield over 1 year. There's daily rebalancing, So moving to the highest earning pool at the end of every day, and that got you earning $567,000 in yield, or almost a 40% improvement over the set and forget. So you can already see the importance of reallocating your funds, right? And then there's Archimedes, so hourly rebalancing and compounding, and that was a 54% improvement, or a $626,000 return on yield. So the key takeaways, not only are we earning you more, we're also doing it with zero need for technical understanding of DeFi for our users. A lot of people, especially when I was at the firm, a lot of people ask me all the time, like, what should I buy? What should I trade? And stuff like that.
Buy my bags. Buy the bags I've just bought. So you can be my. I know we work together too, but you're going to be my exit liquidity today.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people, even people in the space, right, want to know what to buy. We do that all for you. You don't need to keep up with all the trends, all the hype cycles and stuff like that. You don't need to spend your time every single day. Even if you're good at what you do you really want to spend like 10 minutes every single day researching and keeping up to date with your positions and stuff like that? We didn't want to do that at the firm as well, hence why we started creating it. So it's cool that not only can we solve that problem, but we actually earn you more at the same time. Which is,
did you find that
absolutely nuts.
Did you it's crazy, the numbers. Did you find that the rebalancing on the 1 hour time frame was like the most efficient and effective? Because I've seen a few other vaults that have gone through like different testing phases, and they showed like I don't know, like 5 or 6 different time frames. So I'd be interested to get your view on that.
Yeah, good question. So there's multiple reasons why we chose 1 hour. One is when you train the AI Archimedes, the longer the time period, the harder it is to predict. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this stuff, so I've got to be careful how much I can actually expose. But essentially, another metric that we train the AI on has to do with like time weighted training. So essentially, if we're predicting, say, the next 5-minute period, and then the next 5-minute period, and then the next one, those 6 periods, the how many is it? 12 periods into the hour, sorry. The later it is, the harder it is to predict. However, the closer to that time is, the more accurate it is to the predicted value. So we pretty much came up with a weighting mechanism where essentially every 5-minute period is given a weighting depending on how close it is to the predicted value. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. But yeah, we apply that to when we predict the value, and we apply it to when we train the model as well. So data that we are training the model on 2 years ago we don't use the same weight on that as we would from 1 week ago. So these things is a lot of experimentation on the correct values to use for that. So yeah, it's pretty cool because, as I said before, we've been training this for like 1.5 years. So yeah, if anybody wanted to, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of competitors coming up soon, especially when we go live. But there's a lot of hurdles that we had to overcome and tweak as well. So
are you able to share like I was going to say, like, can you share the biggest hurdle you came over? But that's going to give you competitors an edge. Can you like share this, like maybe one of the lower down hurdles that you had to come over? Because it like the level of depth and detail you guys have got into to train Archimedes is huge.
Yes, it's insane. What can I share? I mean, the data one, I mentioned that one before. I think that's honestly the biggest hurdle, just getting reliable data. Because even when we're asking third parties, like well-known third parties, I won't mention who, but they couldn't do it as well. Sometimes they would provide it or say, yeah, we could do it, and then they would just give up like 3 weeks later. Yeah, what else can I share?
Have you got quite a big team working on this, or is it just like three lads and Shay in the background in the basement? Sorry.
Yeah, so yeah, they're actually downstairs right now working hard at. No, they're not. So
it's crypto. They definitely are.
Yeah. There's like I think we're at 13 currently. But after we do a raise, our first major raise that wasn't raised from us internally and from the firm, we're going to scale up. Right now, obviously, everybody knows the hype with AI. It's going nuts. And we think because we have first mover advantage, we feel like once we launch and people start realizing who we are, this could blow up massively. It's really cool to see where we have these meetings with like big players and stuff like that. And we mention what we're doing, and at the end, they all love it, and it's insane. I absolutely love it. Even like retail, right? Where they don't really understand what we're doing, and when we tell them, they themselves are like, wow, we would use this. You know, we wanted to get in crypto, but we had no idea. This makes perfect sense. But why has nobody done it before? And we're like, I don't know. So, we've timed it perfectly. I wouldn't say we did it on purpose, complete fluke. But yeah, if the market continues up, AI is going crazy, and if we can be the first in crypto, I feel like yeah, we're just gonna start attracting liquidity. To be honest,
I feel like we've done really well. Is you're just talking about like retail there. I think what you've done really well, and why you're capturing them almost already, is because you're making this relatable to them. So you've probably seen in crypto, there's a bajillion different projects that nobody can relate to because the name's off. It looks like a scam. It feels like a scam. You know, there's loads of just, you know, red herrings and red flags. You know, the fact that you guys are using AI, that's a pretty friendly buzzword at the moment. You're using Archimedes, who we all know. We remember him from school, and then you can relate to that. You know, maybe some other Greek gods, And what's cool is like your own personal origin story. The fact that you're like, yeah, I was a miner, and then like everybody now, like you said, they're the good thing about Bitcoin mining, but it's like, no, you were a legitimate miner with a pickaxe trying to get gold. And I've been to Oz, mate. Like, I've seen these like massive like quarries. And you've been there with just your pickaxe, just like that, trying to get. Obviously, it's a little bit different, but like, you know, that kind of origin story. I think that's why you guys are so relatable. And in my mind, it's why I personally think like you guys are going to have like massive success. Plus, you've got some good firepower and a team, from what I've spoken to, that they all believe in the exact same vision. It's not working as like, you know, a 9 to 5 where, you know, you go and get a page. So look, these guys, I was speaking to them, like they've given up a lot to build this dream and, you know, make what it is now a massive reality. So, man, I take my hat off to you. Like props to the vision and the team you've got going on behind the scenes. Really cool to see. Really, really cool to see.
No, I really appreciate that. But yeah, it definitely is the team. Like we are absolutely blessed with the team we have. Very, very lucky that we started at Star Beta. Because having those connections with everybody else and stuff like that, like the CEO has been absolutely supportive since day one. Originally, when I was continuing to work at the firm and work in Mosaic, they gave the full support, raised some money, and then I thought, you know, like other people's money is in this besides mine. I gotta give this 100%. So that's why I left to focus on Mosaic full time. The team were all moving together to the BVI fairly soon as well. Yeah, we just want to build this out as fast as possible. But yeah, appreciate those kind words. It does mean a lot because we have been grinding for a very long time, and I know everybody's very, very excited now to show our hard work. Yeah, very, very exciting.
And just a couple more questions before we like talk about things like I guess like the raise and like your actual token. And like there's 1,000 different vaults projects out there. You know, what's gonna really, apart from just Archimedes, because he sounds like an absolute G, what is the thing that's really gonna separate Mosaic from all of these, you know, gamma, delta, hedging, swapping, neutral, whatever buzzword and jargon you want, vaults out there?
Yeah, well, a lot of those strategies, they're very specific. They don't even really automate anything. And they're normally specific to the blockchain as well. So just from like a infrastructure point of view, we're on so many different blockchains, right? Not only that, we automate the entire thing for you. You don't need to understand what this gamma is and whatever else, word is. We're bringing out a bunch of new products as well. So one is, you mentioned Tapioca actually. So we were talking to them, big fans as well, fellow Layer Zero friends. Yeah, big fans, really smart people. We want to use our LP from the vaults as collateral, especially for like the stablecoin vaults. The cool thing with that, what we envision is we lend out the LP, and then with that we can borrow on that, and then with that borrowed money we can deposit that back into our stablecoin vault, rinse and repeat, do your normal looping, and then offer like a leverage product or something like that. So that would be cool. And then you can earn even more on that if you wanted to take that risk. Those NFTs I mentioned before, not sure when they are going to be released. But yeah, jump in the Discord. You'll be updated there first. Leaderboard, similar to Blur and Tensor. Yeah, love Tensor as well. They're pretty good friends of ours. They pretty much grew the community in a very, very smart way using the leaderboard. It is important for us as well because our token is a pure governance token on launch, right?
When you say just before you go into that, like when you say leaderboard, like what do you mean? Or what's going to be recorded?
Yeah, so pretty much with the leaderboard, everybody would have an account associated with their wallet. If you deposit into the vault, depending on how much liquidity you put in the vault, will depend on how much points you get on the rewards. It can be how many XMOs you have as well, things like that, or even interacting with the DApp can earn you points. With those points, the more points you have, the higher you are on the leaderboard. Certain rewards will be distributed to those holders as well. So we wanted to bring some type of reward for those early people holding the XMOS token. Originally, we wanted to bring out these cool things with utility and stuff like that. Our legal team highly advised us not to. So we went, okay, no problem. But yeah, the community, if the community came in post-launch and wanted to bring in any type of utility, some things they're talking about now is, I don't know, obviously revenue shares, one everybody keeps. So if you earn, say, if you stake XMOs, then you can get like half of the protocol fees, for instance, something like that. But like that would have to be voted on by the community and proposed by the community. Other things the community have thought about is bribing mechanisms, similar to Curve, as we are going to be a liquidity hub, being on so many different blockchains. This one's my personal favorite. Other blockchains or other protocols, if they want our liquidity, right? Because you need liquidity to operate on your protocol. They can essentially use XMOs and then direct the liquidity from the pools over to their protocol. The people in our pools will get a higher APY. And then the protocol's happy as well because I get liquidity. So things like that where it helps every single person is getting what they want, which is pretty cool. What else is there?
So I guess the long story short is like points mean prizes, and prizes might mean when token airdrop, right?
Good question. If people have sleuthed in our docs, there is a 2% of the entire supply for an airdrop. I cannot say when it is going to happen. I will say though, the point of an airdrop, if you want to do it right, is you want to have a product that is worth advertising and a product that is offering value, right? So pretty much, you see the problem with other protocols is they'll just airdrop like straight away or whatever, or give out all these tokens on day one. Everybody comes over, they take all the funds or all the tokens, and they go, "Oh, this product is only like one strategy, and like why is this better than anything else?" So they just dump it and move on to the next thing. So what we want to do is essentially offer a suite of products, have something that we are very proud to advertise, reward those early people who are there part of the journey with us, with the airdrop, and then get the attention, get everybody to come over and be like, "Oh wow, this is what they're doing over there." So that's the strategy with that.
So can I confirm that what you're actually doing is you're building something first? You're building the infrastructure, the technology first, and then you're going to bring a token into it instead of bringing a token in at the start, raising a shitload of money, and then slow rug it to death. You're going to build something worth its weight in I was going to say gold, but it's not. It's worth its weight in tokens, and I don't know, maybe like mosaics. Is that what you're doing?
Look, here's some alpha. Well, it's not really alpha, but it's the truth. We are part of the Startup with Chainlink program. So we've talked with a bunch of startups, and we all pretty much built through the bear market. Really hard time. A lot of protocols didn't survive. And it's very unfortunate because a lot of protocols we were talking to were creating a product that is worthwhile. They just didn't have the funds to continue on. That's another fortunate thing. Us being from the firm, we were able to survive. We had this vision as well. We knew what we were building. We knew it was important. So even though the markets were bad, it didn't really matter. We know the vision, what we wanted to do, and kept building. So the protocols that have stuck around, those are the protocols. They're not there for a quick dollar, they actually are genuine and they do want to build. So not financial advice, but if I was personally putting money anywhere, it would be these new type of protocols, not protocols that have sort of bled through the bear market, might not have a lot of money, stuff like that. But yeah, that's just me personally.
Man, it's good.
Not financial advice.
Not
advice.
It's like, wait a minute. Where's my disclaimer list? Yeah, let me say not financial advice. Do your own research. Make smart decision.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay.
And just check the tick box below.
And yeah, just check the tick box
okay.
below. All right, I've got. I think we've covered a lot on obviously like Mosaic. I mean, is there anything? I've got a few like quick fire questions for you. But is there anything else you want to let the audience know about, like, I don't know, the raise, or like anything to do with like token generation coming up? When we can expect some stuff, and what the I guess the 6-month roadmap is.
Yeah, so we are doing our first public raise. That is literally around the corner. I cannot share the date, unfortunately, today. I don't want to be like too shilly here because I've already said it, but like honestly, just join the Discord because we will drop it there first. And it is there. We're doing a small raise at the beginning. I won't say how much yet because we are just confirming. but it's around the corner. We wanted to reward the loyal community members who have been around since the beginning in the Discord. So we'll be dropping it there first. So if you wanted to get in first, do head on over there. And then we may do a bigger raise later on at a high valuation. But yeah, those details are yet to be public. In terms of that closed beta as well, another thing, we're whitelisting people in the Discord as well. If you want to be the first to check out the AI on mainnet, tell all your friends you're the first one to use AI. Head over there. We are randomly picking people. It's insane. We did a form for people to apply, and like there was an insane amount of people applying. Like our socials have been blowing up massively.
Dude, your socials
really cool.
are seriously impressive for somebody who's not for somebody who's not launched anything yet. Like, you guys are really, and I've sleuthed in the Discord as well. So you're kind of like us at Blockmates, where we direct everybody to Discord because that is where all like the alpha is. Like it's leaked, it's hidden there, it's lurking in the depths. But no, you guys have done that really impressively.
Yeah, thanks. That's all down to the other two co-founders. Shout out to Fortescue and Memento Mori. They've been absolutely killing it in terms of the marketing. One thing, which is pretty rare in crypto as well, is we are not using any bots. I swear every other protocol is using bots, especially at the beginning. If you just see our socials, like everybody interacting and stuff, it's really cool, and that's why I really love our community as well. As I mentioned earlier, they're doing all these like Mosaic merch and stuff without us even asking. They just want to be part of the journey together. So if there is anybody who wants to be part of the journey, do jump on in.
Yeah, nice. We'll put all the links somewhere down there in the whole like YouTube comment section or whatever. Moving on to just some quick fire questions. Okay, so these are going to be very simple, either yes or no, or just like the first answer that comes to your mind. Pineapples on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Favorite ice cream?
Whoa. You looked at me like I was dead. You're like, no.
To be fair, because I was going back to that time when I was in Hong Kong, and my friend, she brought out a pineapple and honey bacon pizza, and I looked at her and I was like, excuse me? It's like, oh no, I've got you pepperoni. I was like, thank you. So that was kind of brought those memories. Favorite ice cream?
Spearmint. I'm not a sweet person. Anyway. Yeah, I know.
Spearmint ice cream. Is that even a thing?
I don't even eat ice cream, bro. I was gonna say vanilla, but it's too boring.
Yeah, too boring. Favorite superhero?
Ronaldo.
Okay. Ronaldo's in the football player, yeah? When you're playing him on the latest FIFA.
That.
Okay, so Ronaldo versus Wolverine.
Yeah. Well, it depends on a football match. I'll pick Ronaldo for sure.
Ronaldo wins this one then. Okay, one person that you've always wanted to have a conversation with, and like they can be living now, they could be of past.
I suppose it's pretty capped, but like probably Elon Musk, eh? Like I'm sure a lot of people would say that. Yeah, it's an easy one, but it is pretty insane what he's doing. Like I don't understand how he can run all of these different businesses at the same time. Plus, he's not even a human, bro. Plus, prepare for that boxing match. Or the MMA
that's the next
fight.
question. Okay, Zucks versus Musk. Who wins? What round?
Zucks. I mean, Zucks is like what? He's in his 30s. Elon would be like 51 or something, I think. Pretty sure Zucks, like, he's a black belt, isn't he? Yeah.
Mate, like, Zucks has been doing the whole like kung fu fighting thing recently.
Yeah. First round submission, Zucks. Unless Elon's been training privately, you never know. Because he's the one who instigated it.
I'm going balls long on Meta and then shorting the shit out of Tesla. Obviously not financial advice, based on that fight. Okay, and one final question. This can relate to anything. It doesn't have to be crypto. Okay, what do you want to be remembered for?
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, the first thing that came to my mind, and this is going to be cheesy as hell, is just being a nice person. And that's just it, pretty much. Like, even though like I want to do all this cool stuff, another reason why I left the firm, right? It was my dream job, my number one dream job ever. Left my friends, left my family, moved to the other side of the country, knew literally nobody. Worked there, absolutely loved it. Easily like the best job I've ever had. It would be like 2 a.m. You're there with all of your friends, making a bunch of money. You all get like one really big trade. Everybody's going crazy, screaming in the top of the lungs and stuff like that. And then pretty much left for Mosaic. Because I just wanted to do something that I felt like is important, is something that people would want to use, you know. And I feel like that's sort of the reason why I got into crypto in the first place, to be honest. It wasn't even for the money at the beginning. It was like what Bitcoin meant. So I sort of don't really trust the government. I don't trust like any centralization and stuff like that. The more decentralization, the better. It's even why one of the perks of our AI, in our further version, we've talked to Starkware about this, and they introduced us to modulus. And what we're going to do is use zero knowledge proofs to prove to our users that all the decisions for the vaults come from Archimedes with zero human interference, which is massive because last year, there were so many things where it was just a few bad actors, that have greed, using other people's funds and stuff like that for their own good, or for their own, act or whatever, to save their own asses. Sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent there, but I think it's just important to just push decentralization, and if I can do that, at least help push other people towards that methodology and stuff like that, and then I'll be pretty happy with myself.
So basically, you want to be remembered for being a nice guy who believed in decentralization and did his own little bit to push it forwards.
Spot on. Perfect.
Nice. On that bombshell, where can we find you? What are your social handles?
So I'm barely on social media, to be honest, but I have been starting to use it more. I do spaces every single week and stuff now, so head over to the Twitter, Swaytide, SWAYTIDE 27. That's my handle. We're doing pretty much AMAs every single week now with our co-partners and stuff like that. Excuse me. Head on there. Otherwise, in the Discord as well, that's where I'm there 24/7 as well. If you want to say hi, if you want to learn anything as well, feel free to come ask about the AI if you have any questions or thoughts about that as well.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Calum from Mosaic Finance. We'll put all of the cool stuff somewhere down there in the YouTube box. Obviously, as always, like, subscribe, sign up to a newsletter, sign up to their Twitter, their Discord, our Twitter, our Discord, and on that bombshell, have a lovely day. Thank you very much, Cal.
Thank you so much, Dan. I really appreciate it.